Alright, in this video we are going to play through the Conquest of Canaan. I'm using a Daughters of Zelophehad deck that I built. You can see those in the encounter builds, and we're going to get started here. So let's go ahead and get things set here. Alright, and so with this, since we do have a shadow location, we're going to have a shadow effect. So we can go ahead and look at this here. It says, while the shadow effect is in play, whenever a faithful engages with the faith timeline, they are turned upside down and inactive for the next round. Shadow effect ends when any location is cleared. Well, that is a massive bummer way to start. But got Ephraimite Spy as our first faithful. So this effect here is Spy, which says, before the encounter reveal, player may pay a faith token from the Ephraimite Spy to look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Player must pay an additional faith token to move these 3 to the bottom of the deck. Awesome. That is probably the best way this scenario could have played out right here. Alright, we also have Tears, which her Daughter of Zelophehad effect says, for each location that's active, Tirza gets +3. So Tirza starts, I have to math hard here, with 4, 3, 6, 9, plus an additional 9. And last, we have Milka, Daughter of Zelophehad. Whenever a support card is played, refresh any Daughter of Zelophehad in play. Okay, this is good. So not a ton necessarily of faith. Well, Tirza just got stacked, which is awesome. But Ephraimite Spy, I'm probably going to be strategic because of that effect. I'm going to want to use that. In fact, here as I'm starting, I'm going to pay that 1. We're going to look at these 3. So Jebusite Trader, Hittite Captain, and then a trap. So I definitely just kind of don't really want those, especially because upon reveal it says any faithful in play with a faith amount less than 6 is discarded. I'd like to not lose Milka, and so I'm gonna spend that 1. And these are gonna go to the bottom of the deck, and so we're gonna get 3 new here. All right. So all 3 of these, I got lucky. Not lucky. We had good encounters here. So Promise Hammer is an instant. I'm going to save my refresh. You know, with this, I'm going to save my Fight Together because that would draw an additional faithful. But it would end my turn, and I'd rather use this turn to get rid of this because this is 6. Right here, I can use... And that gets rid of this shadow effect. So I'm going to take that. Now, she still has a lot of faith, but again, I can only play that once. And so we're just going to go ahead and get this going. Working ahead. I'm going to draw Faithful. Okay. Hogla has 7, but Daughter of Zelophehad, for every faithful with this trait, +1 to every action taken by Hogla. So that's actually kind of cool that 2 of her sisters are already in play. And so every time she interacts or plays, she's going to get a +2 for every interaction she does there. And the next turn. Okay. We have Asherah Priest, which says if a Faithless is discarded after Asherah Priest is in play, resets all tokens on Asherah Priest. And then Failed to Drive Out says, if Geezer has not been cleared, search the location deck for Geezer and make it an active location. So, Geezer has not been cleared. Ends up here at the bottom. So it is now an active 3rd location. I'm going to reshuffle these, and we'll keep going. So, what I'm going to do... I think I really want to work towards getting Asherah Priest out of there, because then any other Faithless that comes up, that's going to be a struggle. But it gets +2 to this action because Daughter of Zelophehad. And then I'm just going to play 1 from Ephraimite Spy, and Asherah Priest is set. Done. Tears. We'll just go ahead and put all of these. Fail to drive out. And that will be the end of the turn. All right, Judite. Oh, awesome. So it's 5, but it has +5 if Kirith Arba is active. And this Kirith Arba is active, so that is going to get 10. That is good. These effects are really playing off the locations and the decisions we've made so far. Now, I could have played my Ephraimite Spy. I haven't, which is all right. All right, Baal Priestess has this effect that says when a trap card is revealed, reset all tokens on Baal Priestess. So it's probably something that I'll start using my effect of Ephraimite Spy to try and kind of counter that to get an awareness and move those. Unless it's a trap with like 2 really good event cards or support cards, something that's going to help me out, I'll probably just keep playing that each time to get ahead of that, to not have those reset. Especially because she's on Beth Anath, which is already such a huge 36 cost. Kirith Arba is a huge cost as well. So I probably want to target over here. And so let's just look at this here. So Spy is going to go into my hands. So let's me search the encounter deck for any card and remove it by placing in my hand or discarding. So probably the first thing I'm going to want to do. Now I do have Promise Inheritance, which would let me play it in response to a trap to cancel the effects, but this still says when a trap card's revealed. So even if I'm canceling it, removing it, it doesn't mean that Baal Priestess effect is canceled, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play Hebron just while we still have 3. This is probably going to be one of the best times. So Tirza, again, remember, gets 4 plus 3. So Tirza's total faith would still be this +3, so it's 4, 3, 6, 9, so at 13. So again, that total is always going to be based on the number of locations, and so I'll play that now while we have 3, hoping that we never get to a spot where we have 4 or 5, even though that would really help that. I don't really like that. And again, Milka is special of a support card. We haven't had any of those revealed, so there's really nothing to do with that. So I'm going to play Spy. I'm going to be strategic. So because I can, I'm going to search for a support card, and then I'm going to play that support card, which will then refresh Hogla, because I'm going to use her effect for any Daughter of Zelophehad or refresh Hogla. Let's look here. So I don't, some of these are specific to 222 locations. So I don't want one that's going to rely on like a water or mountain, because I just don't have those, and so it doesn't make sense. So some of these, because I do have Faithless, I could pull Sword if there's another one back here. Possibly I could do that. Alright, I actually really want, because I have grass, I'm going to pull Witness Stone, which lets me play this card on any grass locations. Then on my turn, when a card with a cost is revealed in this location, refresh the faith pool of one of your faithful equal to that card's cost, not exceeding the faithful max. So again, because I have so many of these that either rely on effects or rely on their faith tokens to get that effect, it makes sense to try and have that refresh and use. So I'm going to play Witness on here on Kirith Arba, just knowing this will be impacted for longer, playing it here, which means then that because that support card was played, I can use her effect on Hogla and get this spot. So now I've spent all of mine. I keep holding on to Fight Together probably till I get to a spot I'd like to use, since I just refreshed these. So I'm gonna go ahead, and because of Hogla's impact here, if I only spend 5, I get the 1, 2 from her effect, and so I can keep the 2 on there. And that clears Canaanite. I'm going to go ahead and use Tirzas. Let's actually get rid of Gazer. Whoops. Let's go here. Spent. I'm going to keep holding on to Ephraimite Spy. So close to signing, but I think I really just want to keep those. Yeah, just go in here and hold on to that. So I have 2. I need 3 more. Or the entire timeline cleared. Nope. Alright, Ox. Bold request. Oxa may spend 5 faith tokens to prevent 1 location from having an encounter card revealed during the next round. Okay. I may just hold into this in the spot we're at. I'd rather use her total faith than spend 5 to stop an encounter card, just how good we're looking here. So... Oh, no! Alright. Is there... No, we don't have... Alright, so however we want to play this one. So Canaanite Woman does technically say if Ephraimite... We have Ephraimite Spy. For the sake of this, we'll just add a 5 shadow here. So 1, 2, 3. And because it does have that label in the title. Alright, so Talmai... We're good right now, but it has Son of Anak. Every round that another card with a giant is in play, Talmai gains +5. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna just hope that none of these other Nephilim or Sons of Anak get revealed here. So let's walk through this. Okay. I need to decide if I want to start working towards the Kirith Arba location. Now, we did have the what you call it, the stone, the witness stone. So we have 20 revealed here, so we can refresh up to that. So we're going to go back to tiers, which is... nope, it would be 3, 6, 7, 8. So we could do 6 plus... Yeah. Okay. So that's going to pull that. I can't go beyond that because even though it's 20, I can't just pick and go above what their actual faith is. So we're going to go with that. And then let's go ahead and play some of these here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to clear this one. But that's going to get 2 more. And that is going to be the end. All right, we got Simeonite, which, again, building this faithful deck, some of it is knowing the cards, knowing the story of the interaction. So obviously this set is built because all of these characters take place in the same narrative. But then even when I'm dividing up my faithful deck, I picked specifically faithful. So the Daughters of Zelophehad are my main, and then I picked some supporting characters and ones that in their interactions in the story are going to play off one another. So Simeonite has 7, but it has +5 faith if Judite is in play, and Judite is in play. So we get 7 + 5, which is a 12. So again, some of that interaction as you're building sets, as you're pulling cards from other sets, is recognizing, hey, these are the same biblical narratives or interactions that they have, and their effects interact in that. Because when we're building the sets, we pull exactly from the scripture and try and look at that and say, how do these effects impact each other? What do we see in scripture? And that informs how the cards interact and play together. So that's there. Okay. So we sort of lucked out in that it's not a Son of Anak, but we pretty much picked the three hardest that we have here because now we have a 33 and a 40. Okay. Oh, goodness. No. Oh, this is so dumb. Okay. So we're going to have to go through these one at a time. And even though this is in play, it doesn't really impact these. So Adoni-Bezek says, every round Adoni-Bezek is in play. The last card from the discard pile is returned in place on the first location, or first location out of the limit. Then shuffle the discard pile. That is a dumb effect. Iron Chariot Dread. When Iron Chariot is revealed, every player shuffles their Faithful back into the Faithful deck, then redraw 2 Faithful into play. Oh, this is so painful. Seriously, this is so painful. I felt like I had such a good set here. So you're going to watch me cry terrible tears here on this cam. Right. I need something. I need the Lord to be good, and I need to just trust in trust in the Lord to deliver us from this, because it's not in our own power, huh? So this must be the feeling that you read so much about just throughout Scripture, where there's just this sense of dread and fear, right? Like why the effect is called dread. So let's look here. Here's my 2. Tears. Okay. All right. I will take it. So obviously with this too, I say the only benefit, if you can actually call it a benefit, is that you're going to put them back into play. And because you're putting them into play, they get refreshed. So, and Danite. So 7. Not exactly what I wanted with these bad boys, but it is what it is. And so this is going to be a bit of a struggle. The only thing that we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get rid of Adoni-Bezek, because I don't really know what else I can do. And trade that for a 5. And trade these for a 5. Okay. These are going to go back in. Man. This is kind of a bummer, but luckily I saved this fight together. And so, yeah, I can't play that now because I played those. So I'm going to have to just draw this, but next time I'm probably just going to skip that. Okay, so this is lucky or favored that Judite is here. Kirith Arba is still there, so it gets 10. But unfortunately now we have to take Canaanite Woman and put it here, which is going to force us into overflow, which is a huge bummer. But what else are we going to do? Play it out. Okay. All right. So here's how this is going to work. Luckily only 2. These both go here, and then they're revealed. So when this card is revealed, the last Faithful put in play is returned to the bottom of the deck. Man, these effects were all from the narrative, and it is, whoops, wrong deck. It is super annoying because we see so much that they went and all they had to do, right, was follow, right, what the Lord had asked them to do. And then in all of those, they didn't do it. And so they were pressed back, or they were taken from that land. So, yeah, it's sad. So that goes back in there. These are revealed. I have nothing here. So all I can do is I'm going to play Fight Together. So now the good thing about me playing this is that this actually can get stacked and put into my hand, but then it'll get shuffled. So it actually kind of is a little bonus here. All right, so Simeonite only gets 7 because the Judite just went back in play. And so that's from the card. But then, yes, thank you. Oxa is also going to come here. And that will be the end of that turn. Now, So what's going to happen is these have to go out first before we return that card. But it also means these go here. And then here. All right, so all of these are going to go into my hand. We also have to shuffle, discard. We're going to see if we can keep going. We need to get rid of Adoni-Bezek because that is super annoying. You know, I did shuffle and it looks like I didn't. So we're going to do this again. Oh, no, I don't like that. Okay. All right, so we got Hornet, which is beautiful. Play this card on any Faithless to instantly remove them from play. End your turn. Goodbye. You're gone. Seems like a cheat move, but that's okay. All right. No. It says player may choose to shuffle one revealed card back into the encounter deck to draw 2 replacements. Okay. I like your effect there, but that's the end of my turn. I cannot use that yet. And this is going to have to go here. Roughing Assassin, Canaanite Giant, survey the lands. Okay. All right. Survey the land, search the encounter deck for any card or remove it by placing in your hand or discarding. Okay. So we're going to get rid of this one and then shuffle, just knowing that Talmai still has that effect happening there. And I don't really like that. All right, let's see here. I need to just start playing a couple things. All right, so unfortunately, Man of Luz I can't play because it says this card can only be played on the first active location, but I have a support card. And so once you have a support card, you can't swap it out. No other support or neutral can be played there. So that kind of is a bummer. But every deck would keep the top card face up. So that would have been nice because it kind of lets me see, but I cannot use that. I still have my Promise Inheritance, which lets me counter any trap cards. I feel like I really need to, yeah, it's this. I think I need to clear some stuff, but I also need more Faithful, so I may play Fight Together. So Roughing Assassin says that while any other cards are revealed on Roughing Assassin's active location, no Faith tokens may be placed. So I can't even counter that, but I also am pretty much at the spot of overflow. So if I don't clear something, I'm going to get a 4th location, which tears on this because this one would have gotten these 3. The 4th, it would get more, but I don't really want to risk it. I feel like I have too many. I have such a high faith cost to try and clear this that it's, man, I think I just have to see what happens here playing this. 4. Okay, so Kenite, so this may work out. So Kenite says if another location card is drawn, refresh up to 4 to each Faithful in play. So that actually is super nice, minus the fact I didn't play a ton of tokens on anybody. So that part is the bummer there. And then also because my turn is over, so Benjamite is 7. So next time, after I get this 4th location, I'm going to have a lot of these I have to get rid of, so. All right. This goes here. This goes here. So let's just do these in steps before we get here. So I can refresh up to 4, which really means tears up, which she gets 3, and then she can get her 4. And Danite can get 4, and nobody else has. Spent any, but we're locked and loaded. No! Of course, it would happen this way. Oh! Okay, so let's walk through these. This is really unfortunate for us. Okay. So Talmai is going to gain +5. So we're going to take these 4 off and put that 1 because we have man. It says when the faithful engages with men, +2 shadow to any giant faithless in play into the hill country. It says draw an additional location card and add it to the fate timeline. Move this card to that location. This is such a bummer. Guys, this may be it for me. But we walk by faith, not by sight. So what I see here, we're going to see how our faith plays out. And so let's look at this here. Okay, so I can't even go for this. I probably just need to work myself this way. So I think one thing I can do, let's do this 5, and this 6. I'll get rid of this one. We're going to do this 15. And clear Ashkelon. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3. And take hers +1 from Kanite. Clear negative. All right, so I don't have to clear the whole timeline. I just need 1 more location. 5 location wins it for us. So it got us back in. See, this is this example, walk by faith, not by sight. My sight said, I'm done. I have failed to follow after the Lord and walk into Canaan. But here we have it. So Danite still has 4. I'm just going to play all of these on pressed back. I think that's... Actually, no. Canaanite woman. So... Alright, this is good because I now have... Let's see. 1, 2... Okay, just 2, I guess, that stack with hers. So, I keep going here. I do have to get another location. No, it does mean that Tirza gets 4. See, that's the only, or 3. It's the only benefit there. Okay. Determine to dwell, draw an additional location card and add it to the fate timeline. Again, man, we would have been done if we had not taken those actions. The Lord delivered, responds to a trap. So I got 2 right now that I can handle traps. We haven't had any traps come up. And then serve the Lord. All right, refresh the faithful. So, see, we have no more grass. We cannot play that one. We can't play this on the first. We are going to refresh. So we're going to play serve the Lord. Oxa, she's going to get 15 back. Okay, just looking here to see our next course of action. I think here we just kind of have to play. So let's just walk through this. All right, Simeonite has 1, and so we're going to use that to get rid of Canaanite woman. and do one of these counters this plus 15. And use tiers. Get rid of Talmai. So I have 7, technically 9. So if I use 7 plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that would clear Rephaim Assassin. Okay. Which kind of sets me up. Kirith Arba, I know it's a lot, but just trying to clear that as opposed to, which would get me my 5th location, and I'd be good. Again, I haven't been able to refresh anything because no cards here. All right, guys, 4. All right, so if I play a support card, but I have none, I could refresh a Daughter of Zelophehad. Ah, trap. All right, we'll go through and resolve each of these. Oh, but there is no resolution because no matter what here, I would have to draw an additional location card and add to the Faith timeline. This means that, unfortunately, guys, I am unsuccessful. Man, that was, we had it. We were like on the edge, and then our Faith got us out, and then we were on the edge again, and our Faith got us through. And here, there was just a little too much, right? That was a longer playthrough, but thanks for following along. And yeah, you got other questions or comments, leave them below.